Just wait for Lavanya 2 minutes. Anyone join, we will listen. Okay.
Okay, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Uh,
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Hello, sir.
Please wait, Andy.
Excuse me, sir. Can I mute my call, sir? I'm in traveling, sir.
Okay. Just 2 minutes for wait. I will take the class. I am calling from the university hierarchies. Okay, please.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, good evening all. So today we are discussing about the testing of significance and null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis and chi-square test and student t-test. So in testing of significant test, we are take types of statistical levels. The errors is null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis and the degrees of freedom DF, types of t-test, assumption of performing of test, advantage of using of t-test, designs of degrees of freedom, types of chi-square test, fundamentals of hypothesis of testing, degrees of freedom, t-test and chi-square test, properties of chi-square test. This is the all advanced mode here. So in significance test here, so we have to take here, in order to the measure the significance of the results, there are some predefined tests here which could be applied. These tests are called the tests of the significance or simplify the significance tests. The statistics testing subject to the degrees error. To the degrees error, so what is error for some experts? The researcher required to define what is the researcher. The researcher defined to expert the sampling error in advance. So the test does not. We take that does not consider the entire population. The sampling error does not exist. The test of significance is very important in statistical research. The significance level is the level at which can be accepted if a given event statistically significant. This is also termed as p-value. It is observed that the bigger samples are less prone to chance. The sample size plays a vital role measuring the status. And what is the means? The sample size we are taking that, then only we can take the chi-square test, and all these tests we can take here should representative random samples for significant test. So in short, the significance is the probability that a relation exists. Significant tells about probability that relationship found due to random chance or not to be which the level that indicates about the error about the made the found relationship assumed they exist. So see here what is the test of significance level. So that is the higher mode is there. Higher mode we are learning here.
Hello, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, before going to explain this, can you please give me some introduction about this, sir? Because we don't know anything about this paper before.
So, but in your syllabus is no introduction is not given.
Yes, sir. But some brief about what we are doing, going to do all these things with what? Can you please brief about?
Yeah, just a
Means
minute.
why we are using the null hypothesis, sir? What is the significance?
But you yes exactly what 100% you're right the questions 100% you're right the questions. Null hypothesis is there, and what is that yeah, where we are using your asked compulsory. Just wait, I will share another one. First before I will introduce that one, just wait. Just a minute, you are asked that one, that's why I, Just a minute. Sharing, I am closed here. Sharing, just a minute. You are asking for that one. Stay on the line, please. I'm searching that material for null hypothesis. I will give the brief introduction for that to you.
Okay, sir.
What you are asked that one null hypothesis. Okay. So null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. No, just a minute. I am searching of the. I did not. లేదు డిజైన్ 527
5 సార్లు 5 సార్లు అక్షర
just a minute. Vishnu.
సార్ ఈ గిరి రాష్ట్రంలో వచ్చింది తెలుసుకోవాలా ఇంకా రాయాలా
See here. Now it is visible.
No, sir. Yes.
Yeah. See here, what is null hypothesis and all these not included in your chapter. So see here, simple hypothesis. What is simple hypothesis? Means statistical hypothesis is called as a simple hypothesis when x equals to b, 10 comma theta is equal to 1 by 2. So it is simple hypothesis where we have to use x comma p theta is equal to 1. Yesterday I told x equals to n mu comma sigma square, mu is equal to 0 to sigma square. This is called as simple hypothesis. In your problem, null hypothesis is there. See here, null hypothesis. I am enlarging this screen here. Not is in your book. Null hypothesis, no change, no difference. So null hypothesis means we are assuming, but null hypothesis means no change in difference or no difference in null hypothesis. It is denoted by H naught. అంటే మనం సపోజ్ రెండే అనుకున్నాం అనుకోండి, ఇచ్చింది రెండే అనుకుంటే రెండు లాగానే ఉంటే there is no change and no differentiation. See here in the example we given introduction, let mu A and mu B denoted by the fuel efficiency of the brands A and B in the population. A and B undi. So we start with the assumption mu A greater than mu B. So B will be accused that we have started with the prejudicial notation. So therefore mu A less than mu B will be the return A. అంటే ఏంటి mu A less than mu B అయితే ఒక రకంగా ఉంటుంది ఆన్సర్. mu A less than mu B అయితే గ్రేటర్ దాన్ అయితే ఒక రకంగా, లెస్ దాన్ అయితే A will be the best course of action start with the assumption mu a is equal to mu b. Mu a is equal to mu b. నేను ఏమంటానంటే ఇక్కడ mu a less than mu b కావచ్చు, mu a greater than mu b కావచ్చు. బట్ నల్ హైపోథీసిస్ మనం ఎలా తీసుకోవాలి? mu a is equal to mu b తీసుకోవాలి. క్లియర్? హలో, మిమ్మల్ని వినబడుతుందా?
Sir, yeah, sir, yes, sir, but not understanding, sir.
ఇప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ ఒక 5 రెడ్ బాల్స్ ఉంటాయి, ఫైవ్ బ్లాక్ బాల్స్ ఉంటాయి. మనం వాటికి సంబంధించిన ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ లో కనుక్కోవాలి. ఫస్ట్ ఆ 5 రెడ్ బాల్స్ ని 5 బ్లాక్ బాల్స్ యొక్క మనం ఏం చేంజ్ చేయట్లేదు. అంటే 5 రెడ్ బాల్స్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు 5 బ్లాక్ బాల్స్ అని చూపిస్తున్నాను ఇక్కడ.
Okay, sir.
mu a is equal to mu b. Mu a is equal to mu b. కానీ ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ హైపోథిసిస్ కింద ఉంది చూడండి. ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ హైపోథిసిస్ లో ఏమని చూపిస్తాను నేను? దీనికి ఎగనెస్ట్ గా చూపిస్తున్నాను. ఎనీ హైపోథిసిస్ విచ్ బి ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ టు ద నల్ హైపోథిసిస్ called as alternative hypothesis, this is called as H1. H1 is equal to mu a greater than mu b, or mu b greater than mu a, or mu a not equal to mu b. Mu a not equal to mu b. Why? Because mu a not equal to mu b అయితే, సో అక్కడ మనం నల్ల హైపోథిసిస్ లో mu a is equal to mu b అన్నాం కాబట్టి ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ లో mu a is equal to not equal to mu b అంటేనే మనకు వాల్యూస్ అవుతుందా కదా తెలుస్తుంది ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ హైపోథిసిస్ లో. See here, mu a greater than mu b or mu b greater than mu a is called alternative, while mu a not equal to mu b called as two-side alternative hypothesis. ఎందుకంటే ఒకటి లెస్ దాన్ కావచ్చు, ఒకటి గ్రేటర్ దాన్ కావచ్చు. See here, అంటే అది ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ థీసిస్ లో కూడా mu a is equal to mu b అవుతూ కావచ్చు, కాకపోవచ్చు. In alternative hypothesis, we are telling mu a is equal to mu b, or mu a greater than mu b, or mu a less than mu b. When we are finding the values, what the given from the given data. So, కింద రాసాం. In general, x equivalents to f of x comma theta belongs to h. We are writing the x naught, theta belongs to h naught. H naught does not subset of equal to h. So therefore, both the null and the alternative hypothesis are simple hypothesis. We will considering the situation. ఎప్పుడు తెలుస్తుంది నల్ అండ్ ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ హైపోథిసిస్ అంటే మనం ప్రాబ్లం చేసినప్పుడే మనకి దాని కండిషన్ తెలుస్తుంది.
Sir, null means nothing. That is the meaning. What, sir? There is no any mistake.
Null hypothesis means there is nothing change.
Okay.
Null hypothesis, that means mu a is equal to mu b. So botany is equal to zoology I am taking. It is correct or not, I am checking in the alternative hypothesis. Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
So I will share from your chapter. Just a minute. I will share your chapter here. Just a minute. Stop share. Six. There. So see here. Again this one only. Again this one only came. Just a minute. Now it is visible.
Yes, sir.
This is your topic. See here, when I will go to the concerned topic, I will tell you. So what is a test of significance level? See here, I will explain here. The significance number represents probability indicating results of somebody occurred or by chance. The statistical significance may be strong. It does not necessarily indicate practical significance. The statistics look at 5% of probability or less, which means 5% of results occurred due to chance. This also indicates there is a 95% of results not by chance whenever it is found the result of experiment statistically. What is significant? It refers here proof process of significance testing. So setting of hypothesis of the research, null hypothesis, probability of error level, computing statistic significant test. So types of statistical tests. See here, one-tailed and two-tailed. I will share another one-tailed and two-tailed test here. Not in detail, they did not given here in your subject. It is visible. What is the visible? Tell me, anyone. What is the visible to you?
Introduction to
Cochrane theorem.
Cochrane's
Yeah. Okay, good. So now I will go to this one, this unit, and I will tell you this of freedom. See here, this is the analysis of variance, F test and Q test. This is the significance level. So we are taking the degrees of freedom. This is the square sum of squares SST, mean sum of square SST by K minus 1 F statistics. So this is the base, how we are taking the treatments, varieties and errors. So in the problem we are taking, as per your syllabus, just a minute, as per your syllabus. Yeah. So this is the types of statistical tests, null hypothesis, and the computing statistical tests. So here one-tailed or two-tailed. One-tailed, two-tailed means it is here. This is the diagrams you are looking, tables you are looking.
Yes, sir.
So this is called one-tailed, two-tailed test number. Suppose we will complete the entire problem. 5% of level of significance in one-tailed. 0.5. It is visible 0.5.
0.50, sir.
0.50, 0.25, 0.0, 0.15 is visible.
Yes,
So
sir.
suppose in 5% of level of significance means we are taking 0.5. The values comes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up to 30, 40, 60, 80, 100,000 they have given. At 5% level, at 5%, at 5% of level of significance. At 0.25 level, I'm zooming this one. I'm zooming this one. See here. T-tail test at 0.50, T-tail test 0.75, T-tails 0.80, 0.85, so you are seeing now these details. So these details in your chapter, see here. So that is a null hypothesis. So where I told here, one-tailed and two-tailed are two types of statistical tests are using alternatively for the computation of statistical significance for some parameter for given the data set. There are also termed one-sided and two-sided tests. In
Sir,
research,
excuse me, sir.
Amma?
Sir, what are those results, sir? Regarding for what, sir? The top.
So when I will tell the problem, then only you can understand.
Okay.
Lavanya, this is only the example they given that there is no example is not given in your just given only theoretical part they have given
Okay, sir.
in your MSc botany. They did not given problems because here given the problem. I will tell you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Just I will explain for this. So how it will become, I will explain. Then you have to ask me. So this is the statistical. What is the type of errors? There are basically two types of errors in data: type 1 and type 2. That is null hypothesis and type 1 error and type 2 error. The type 1 error accused the researcher first the relationship between hypothesis does not exist, but in reality the evidence does not exist. In the type of error, the researcher is supposed to reject the research hypothesis and accept the null hypothesis. ఏం ప్రాబ్లం లేదు అన్నప్పుడు type 1 error. We can accept the null hypothesis. But an opposite happens if the probability of researchers commit type 1 error denoted alpha A. Type 2 error. Type 2 error just opposite the type 1 error occurs when it assumes the relation does not exist. But in reality it does. In this error, the researcher is supposed to accept the research hypothesis and reject the null hypothesis. And the problem undi అని మనకు అనిపిస్తే we will reject the నార్మల్ పేపర్ ఏమి రిజెక్ట్ చేయకుండా యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తే టైప్ 1 ఎర్రర్, రిజెక్ట్ చేస్తే ద టైప్ 2 ఎర్రర్. బట్ వి డస్ నాట్ ద ఆపోజిట్ హ్యాపెన్, ద ప్రాబిలిటీ టైప్ 2 ఎర్రర్ ఈస్ కమిటెడ్ బై రిప్రజెంటేటివ్ ఆఫ్ బీటా. ఇక్కడ ఆల్ఫా అనే దాన్ని టైప్ 1 ఎర్రర్ అంటున్నాం, ఆల్ఫా 2 ను టైప్ 2 ను బీటా అంటున్నాం. కానీ గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, టైప్ 1 ఎర్రర్ ఈజ్ నల్ హైపోథీసిస్, టైప్ 2 ఎర్రర్ ఈజ్ alternative hypothesis. Type 1 error accepting in null hypothesis as it is what they have given, that any not తప్పు లేకుండా ఉన్నది, it is not corrected, it's a good, it is conditional, we are accepting. But type 2 error, it's not good, we are not accepting, we are rejecting, we can call it as type 2 error. See here, null hypothesis. A null hypothesis is a type of statistical hypothesis that is no statistical significance existing in a set of given observations. The null hypothesis is not the null hypothesis. So see here, the null hypothesis is useful because it can be tested, conclude whether or not there is a relationship between two measured phenomena. This is a null hypothesis, means you have to accept it. That is called H naught. The null hypothesis we can call as H naught. So how the null hypothesis works? A null hypothesis is a theory, is a insufficient evidence that requires further testing prove whether the observed data is true or false. I already told it is data is true. For example, a null hypothesis statement may be rate of plant growth is affected by sunlight. It is correct statement or wrong statement? Tell me anyone. The rate of plant growth is not affected by sunlight. It is correct or wrong?
Wrong, sir.
So chudam, wrong, and it can be tested by measuring the growth of plants presented by sunlight, comparing the width of plants in absence of sunlight. Research tests the hypothesis by examining a random sample of the plants, being the growth without sunlight. So therefore, wrong anara, right anara.
Wrong.
So కింద రాశాడు చూడండి, the null hypothesis is rejected. అర్థమైందా ఇప్పుడు? The null hypothesis is rejected. Accept చేయలేదు అక్కడ. So see here, rejecting the null hypothesis sets that for the experimental to see the relationship between the two variables exists. Rejecting a null hypothesis does not necessarily mean that the experiment did not produce the required result, but it set the stage for further experimentation. Null hypothesis, some important features. A null hypothesis refers to hypothesis that state that there is no relationship between two population parameters. Null hypothesis refers the state that there is no relation between two parameters we are taking here. Researcher reject or disapprove the null hypothesis to set the stage for further experiment or research that explains the position of interest. Null hypothesis can be defined as the hypothesis which is test for possible rejection under the assumption it is true. Under rejection, yes, it is accepted. Null hypothesis can be defined the hypothesis test a possible rejection under the assumption is true. True అయితే accept చేస్తాం, అవునా కదా? Hello?
Yes, sir, rejected means it is correct.
No. Listen here. Which is the test for possible rejection? Under the assumption it is true. It తప్పుపడింది.
Okay.
Under the possible of accept, under the assumption is true. Under the assumption true is accept or not?
Accepted.
కింద రాశాడు చూడండి, ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ హైపోథిసిస్ కెన్ బి డిఫైన్డ్ విచ్ ఈస్ కాంప్లిమెంటరీ నల్ హైపోథిసిస్. రిజెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ నల్ హైపోథిసిస్ లీడ్స్ యాక్సెప్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ రిజెక్షన్. అంటే ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ హైపోథిసిస్ నల్ హైపోథిసిస్ లో యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తే ట్రూ అవుతుంది, రిజెక్షన్ యాక్సెప్ట్ లో కూడా రిజెక్ట్ చేస్తే అది ట్రూ అవుతుంది. సో దిస్ ఇస్ H1 HA ఆర్ H1 తీసుకోండి, తప్పుపడింది, అది సబ్స్క్రిప్ట్ కింద రావాలి. H1 HA అనేది ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ హైపోథిసిస్. The alternative hypothesis is a statement used in a statistical inference experiment. It is contradictory or inverse to the null hypothesis and denoted by HA or H1. So an alternative hypothesis and null hypothesis mutually exclusive, which means that only one or two hypotheses mutually alternative hypothesis, null hypothesis is mutually exclusive, which means that only one of the two hypotheses can be true. If samples used to be test the null hypothesis return the false we're taking here, it means that the alternative hypothesis is true and the statistical significance of two variables is two numbers. The given here null hypothesis does not, there is no relationship between the two sets, that is we can call as H naught. If it is inverse to null hypothesis, exact against wait for 1 minute, please. Sorry. So this is the null hypothesis and the uh, alternative hypothesis. Uh, it is an inverse to null hypothesis and maybe random cause influence observed by data sets. It represented by HA or H1. Alternative hypothesis ni A అని కానీ 1 అని కానీ చూసాం. What is student t-test? What is a student t-test? Is here. A test is an inferential statistic to determine if there is a significant difference between the means of two groups and how they are related. So this is a t-test is separate. The t-test was first described by William Gosset in 1908. He published his article under the pseudonym Students, and the test has been named as student t-test. It is often under hypothesis student determine whether the process treatment actually and affect the population of interest. So they are different from one another. A t-test can only be used when comparing the means of two groups. You want to compare more than two groups. That a multiple pairwise comparison use ANOVA test for post hook test. Performing t-test. The most important performing t-test. The performing t-test, the test is applied a small sample in less than 0. అంటే t-test and a small t sample less than 30 తీసుకుంటాం ఎక్కువ తీసుకుంటే రాదు and sample must be randomly from normal population. The t-test is defined quantity representing the difference between the sample mean or true means or population means expressed in terms of the standard error. Difference between the sample means what is a t? What is the meaning of t means? Difference between the sample means what is the sample means x minus అంటే రెండు samples ఇస్తారు. First sample x, second sample x1, first sample x1, second sample x2 by division of standard error కనుక్కుంటాం. నేను చెప్పాను standard error. So x1, x2 mean of two samples we are taking here. The formula of the two samples here t is equal to x1 minus x2 by under root of standard deviation square by 1 by n minus 1 and n2. So t is the test value. X1 and x2 is the mean two groups being compared. Pooled and standard error of the two groups. N1 and N2 number of the observations. S square is the two sample tests can be calculated by the following formula we are taking here. This is the basic fundamental. You have to study. You have to by heart this one. Summation of x1 is called each variable of first experiment. X summation of x1, total sum of the value of the variables of first experiment. X1 square of the value in a first experiment. Number of observation in first experiment, value of each variable in second experiment, sum of the value of all the variables in second experiment, square of the values of variable second experiment. The calculated square value can be incorporated in the following formula, can be calculated x1 minus s2. So what is degrees of freedom? See here, I will show the degrees of freedom also. See here, this is visible, all of you.
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of degrees of freedom? So degrees of freedom means total sum of squares will carry k into h minus 1. So we are k means they will give the values in the problem k h minus 1 the degrees of freedom. So compute with the kh observations. We lost 1 the use of the constant in summation of I is equal to 1 to k, summation of j is equal to 1 to h. That is y ij minus y bar is equal to 0. How we are calculate that degrees of freedom, I will tell you right now. So see here, in the calculator of standard error, the difference, the degrees of freedom can be opted by one less than number in observation of simple sample. It is unpaired t-test. When the comparison between two samples done, degrees of freedom, we can write n1 plus n2 minus 2. N1 is first sample and n2 is second sample. So therefore, we can, if case of paired t-test, the degrees of freedom as there is the same number of observations. Determination of significance in t-test. What's the determination? To test the significance of different means of two samples, we make a choice between two alternatives. To accept the null hypothesis, that means no difference between the two means there is equal. To reject the null hypothesis, there is the difference between the means the two samples means significant. Manam null hypothesis accept just the same untundi, reject just the difference ga untundi. So therefore, we can take the probability of occurrence of the calculated value of t is determined by comparing with the value in the given the t table here. corresponding to the calculated degree of freedom. The degrees of freedom are derived from the number of observations in the sample under study. If the sample apart from this, the calculated of LFT exceed the value of P is equal. I told P is equal 0.05. You are listening. I shown that table. You are seen or not?
Yes, sir.
Table
0.05.
0.05 level of significance. The table should be significant. That table is significant. So if the calculated value of T less than value, T table is not significant. The t-test procedures, it's done to locate observed value of t that in students t distribution is curve. The t distribution curve is a symmetrical curve with mean is 0. It extends infinity on either side. Degrees of freedom ante ala untunదని రాయడమే అమ్మా చదువుకొని. So 5% of level of significance ఉంటే ఆ degrees of freedom మనం 5% 1% చూసుకొని మనం రాస్తాం. So the t distribution resembles in a normal distribution curve. The t is near the center, then the data is regarded compatible with H naught. Which conclude that the observed deviation is due to chance factor only due to sampling. The t value is situated at a tail region, H naught is not accepted. So see here, solve problem for calculation of t-test. See the one problem here given for your botany. I will tell you here. The random sample of 10 pigs were fed on a diet A, and the increase in weight and found certain period was given for another experiment sample, and 11 pigs was fed and the diet B. The increased weight pounds in the same period times was given. Calculate the T. See here. Carefully see here, all of you. 1 to 11 given. Are of you seeing?
Yes, sir.
This is x1 diet they given. This is x2 value given or not?
Yes.
Increase in weight grams of the pigs in diet, and x2 value it is 100. It is 10 100 0.6 10 into 10 100 0.6 into 6.36. 16 into 16 how much? 16 into 16.
256.
12 into 12. 12 into 12.
144, sir.
But that 144. Here given something wrong. 12 into 12 here also. This is the given wrong here. This is the given wrong here. So x1 and x2. See here, increase weight grams of the pig's diet B, x2. So see here, increase. This is 13 into 13. How much?
169 is correct.
22 into 22.
84.
16 into 15.
225, sir.
220.
So they given the data. So they given the data here. So this is the data what they have taken here. Just a minute. So the total is just a minute. The total is summation of xi square 1524, summation of xi square 29.6.5. This is 173. This is 114.6. See here what I am doing here. Summation of x1 minus x2. Here you go. What is x1? Summation of x square enta? 1524.36. Correct? Please listen here. Please, it is the most important. Summation x1 square ante 1524.36. Yeah. What is summation of x1 square? Summation of x1 square. What is summation of x1 square? 114.6.
140.
By total numbers, not 11. Only 10
11
is there.
total
Only 10
11.
is there. Right? No, there is no 11 is there.
Ah,
By 10 into 2965 plus minus 173 whole square by why 11 is there, I'm tell you. So 11 is given for only x square. 10 is given for x1, 11 is given for second pig, correct? Please concentrate, please concentrate. ఫస్ట్ పిక్ కి 10 ఇచ్చాము, సెకండ్ పిక్ కి 11 ఇచ్చాము. క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసి చెప్తారా కరెక్టా కదా ప్లీజ్? You go here, see here, n1 plus n2, s square. So 10 plus 11, 10 plus 11 minus 2. 10 plus, this is the wrong formula. This is n1 plus n2 minus 2. Here it here, n1 plus n2 minus 2. 10 plus 11 minus 2. Calculate and then tell me the answer, this is correct or not. First. Are you calculating, all of you?
Yes.
Make fast, make fast.
One 153.997, sir. One 153.997, sir.
హలో 153 ఎవరమ్మా చెప్పింది ప్లీజ్ ఆడిబుల్.
Sir.
సో దిస్ ఈస్ 23.95 it is incorrect.
Wrong, sir.
Okay, it is a printing mistake you have to take here. So 153 point. So you have to take x1 minus x2. What is x1? What is x1? 114.6. What is x2? 173. So 114.6 by 10 by 11.46, 173 by 11. The value should be came here. It is a continuation. T value is equal minus 2. This is a procedure. That value is wrong. Okay, don't worry. You have to take this procedure. Or have you understood or anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, assumption of performance of t-test. So, assumption of performance of t-test, the data is being used for the test should follow the continuous on ordinal scale. The data is being should be a random sample, that is a data collected from the representative randomly selected proportion to total population in the data set. The data when plotted should result in a normal distribution or a bell-shaped distribution curve. Variants only exist when the standard deviations of sample are approximately equal here. Types of t-test. There are three different types of t-test. The one sample t-test, the independent sample t-test, and the paired sample t-test here. One sample t-test, simple test, that is simple t-test. The one sample t-test is used when want to compare the mean of the sample known reference mean. A manufacturer of chocolate bars claims its chocolate bar is 50 grams on average. The sample 30 bars is taken and weighted. The mean of the value is 48 grams. 50 grams is not there 48. We now perform one sample t-test of the mean of 48 grams significantly different for the claimed 50 grams. మనం వాడు 50 గ్రాములు ఇస్తే మొత్తం టెస్ట్ చేస్తే మనకి సింపుల్ టీ టెస్ట్ ఎఫ్ టెస్ట్ లో చేస్తే 48 గ్రాములే వచ్చింది. దట్ ఈస్ వన్. టీ టెస్ట్ ఫర్ independent variables. So the t test for independent samples, when we want to compare the means of the two groups, we want to know if there is significant difference between these means. Example of a t test of the independent samples, we compare the effectiveness of their painkillers, that is A and B. ఒక కంపెనీ ఒక తీరుగా ఉంటుంది, ఒక కంపెనీ ఒక తీరుగా ఉంటుంది. సో ద పెయిన్ కిల్లర్స్ మీద వాడు ఇండిపెండెంట్ వేరియబుల్స్ గా టెస్ట్ చేశారు. సో పేర్డ్ శాంపిల్ టీ టెస్ట్, రెండు పేర్లకు సంబంధించిన శాంపిల్ టీ టెస్ట్ చూస్తే ద టీ టెస్ట్, జస్ట్ ఎ మినిట్. Sorry, long delay. The t-test depends upon the sample is to compare the two dependence groups here. Example, the 30 pair samples we are taking here. Do this, we have 30 people before the diet, exactly said the same people after that. Then we can see each person how big the weight, the difference between, already I told the pig data here. What is the difference? T-test also we are taking here. What advantage? The t-test requires only limited amount of the data accuracy testing. Only the subject values recording the variables from each individual group are enough for calculation. The formula for the independent samples is a sample, and hence the make it easy to understand what is going on. The output from a t-test can be easily interpreted. The determinant, the different mean of the sample is from the mean of the group. Rather than performing the expensive test, the quality testing t-test as being cost effective. This one. This is the most important chi-square test. What is the chi-square test formula means? Observed values minus expected values whole square by expected value. The observed value means F naught, expected value is Fe, by F naught is expected value. All these you have to study nominal values or now normal variable, ordinary variable. Yesterday I told this one. The chi-square, what is chi-square test? The statistics procedure for determining the difference between observed and expected data. The test can be also used different between the correlates the categorical data of variables of data. See here, an example for chi-square test they have given here. So green parts and yellow parts. All of you see here. Number of given green parts, number of given yellow parts. In which are ending?
Green parts 428.
Uh,
The yellow part 152.
so see here. So see here. Total number of parts in a 428, 152. And the 580.
Yes, 580.
Yeah. The Greker-Mendel ratio is 3 plus 1 is equal for Avana.
So 3:1.
Huh?
3:1, sir.
3:1. That is 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. Kada?
Yes, sir.
So the total part is equal to 4. How much they have given here? 580.
580.
So three parts into 580. So this is wrong. 3 parts into 580 by 4. How much?
Parts.
3 parts into 580 by 4. ఎంతండి?
435, sir.
435. So see here.
Answer
So
is correct.
correct. 3 తీసుకున్నాం ఇక్కడ. 1 part 580, 1 part into 580 by 4.
45.
580 by 4 ఎంత?
145, sir.
Right, correct. So see here, observed values means expected values. So observed value is 428. Expected value is 435. So observed value is 435. See here, this is observed value is 152. Output value 145. So total 145. Calculate them. These values are correct. Fast. ఒకరే చేస్తున్నారండి, చెయ్యాలి, ఎగ్జామ్లు అడుగుతారు ఇవి. ఎంత అయిందండి? చేస్తున్నారా? All are from Hyderabad Study Center only?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So any doubts, note it. I will in the available in the university camp.
0.122, sir. 0.122.
Not 112.
0.112, sir.
112. This is 0. So this is 0.0379. So total is 0.112 and 0.339. 0.3379 to 0.449. So see, you have to see 1% level of significance they are asked here. So at 1% of chi-square value they are asked here. 0.449, 1% level at 11.34 and 5% level at 8.1. The calculated value. So we can see here x squared 1% level is 1% level 0.4 లో ఎందులో 1% లో చూడమన్నాడు కదా. ఒక నిమిషం ఉండండి. ఒక నిమిషం. డిగ్రీస్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రీడమ్ 1% లెవెల్లో ఎంత ఇచ్చాడు ఇక్కడ? 0.449. ఎంతలో ఇచ్చాడు ఇక్కడ? 0.404. సో ఈ టేబుల్ చూడాలి మీకు ఈ టేబుల్లో చూడాలి. ఈ టేబుల్లో వాల్యూస్ చూస్తే 1% ఆఫ్ లెవెల్ ఇస్ 11.34, at 5% లెవెల్ ఇస్ 815. ఇవి తప్పు చూపిస్తున్నవి. మీరు ఒకసారి 0.449 ని 0.4 లో 4 చూడాలి ఇక్కడ. ఒక నిమిషం. 0.4 లో 4 చూడాలి ఇక్కడ. 0.4 లో 4 చూస్తే ఇక్కడ మీకు 9.11 ఉంది. ఇక్కడ 9.11 ఉంది. సో ఇక్కడ 11.11 ఉంది. ఇక్కడ 9.11 చూపిస్తుంది. 5% లెవెల్లో చూపిస్తే 5% లో 9 ఉంది. ఇక్కడ 8125 చూపిస్తుంది. 1% లెవెల్ ఎంత చూపిస్తుందో చూద్దాము. ఇది 1% లెవెల్. డిగ్రీస్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రీడమ్ లో 1% లెవెల్లో 4 లో 5.3 చూపిస్తోంది నాకు ఇక్కడ. యాజ్ పర్ దేర్ వాల్యూస్ 5.3, 9, 8.15. So calculated less than the 3 degrees of freedom. So the null hypothesis is accepted. అట్లా చేసిన నల్ హైపోథిసిస్ యాక్సెప్ట్ అవుతుంది. ఈ కై స్క్వేర్ వాల్యూని మనం టేబుల్లో చూడాలి. అర్థమవుతుందా? హలో, ఇదేమో మనం కనుక్కున్న వాల్యూ. ఇది అర్థమైందా? ఈ వాల్యూను టేబుల్ ఇది అబ్జర్వ్డ్ వాల్యూ. ఎక్స్పెక్టెడ్ వాల్యూని మనం టేబుల్లో చూస్తాము. చేసినప్పుడు అది గ్రేటర్ దాన్ అయితే రిజెక్ట్ చేస్తాము, లెస్ దాన్ అయితే యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తాము. టేబుల్ చూడాలి. ఆ టేబుల్లో ఈ వాల్యూస్ తప్పు ఉన్నాయి. ఒకసారి చెయ్యండి. ఈ వాల్యూస్ తప్పు ఉన్నాయి. నేను ఒకసారి క్రాస్ చెక్ చేస్తాను తర్వాత. ఓకేనా? సో డిగ్రీస్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రీడమ్. So degrees of freedom means the degree of freedom in statistical calculation represent the number of variables that can vary calculation. In simple, from degrees of freedom, the number, the independent observation, the same data. Said ఇంతకు ముందు చెప్పాను, degrees of freedom లో n-1 ఉంటుంది, where n is the number of observations. So degrees of మీకు ఇక్కడ చూపిస్తాను నేను. degrees of freedom లో చూస్తున్నారా? ఇక్కడ ఇది చూస్తున్నారా? డిగ్రీస్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రీడమ్ K-1 చూసారా? ఇది మీ చాప్టర్ పోతుండే. సో K-1 అన్నాడు. ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఇక్కడ n-1 అన్నాడు. ఇగో, అవునా? సో K-1 అన్నా n-1 అన్నా తీసుకోవచ్చు, నో ప్రాబ్లం. స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ పార్ట్ లో K-1 తీసుకుంటాం. So the degrees of freedom can be calculated into the chi-square test is statistically valid. These tests are frequently used to be compare observed data with the data expected to obtain particular hypothesis were true. Fundamental of hypothesis testing. Chi-square tests are mostly commonly used in hypothesis testing. Hypothesis assumption or given condition might be true, which can be tested afterwards. The chi-square test estimates the size of inconsistency between expected and rules. The actual results when the size of the sample and the number of variables in the relationship is mentioned. Hypothesis testing is the technique interpreting and drawing the inferences and the population-based sample data. Here also we are taking null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. So types of chi-square test, chi-square of independence and goodness of F fit. These are properties of chi-square test and applications of the chi-square test you have to study. It can be used in the data follows well-known theoretical probability distribution and normal and Poisson distribution. It allows the trained regression model goodness, fitness, training, validation test data set. It most commonly used by researchers who are studying survey response data because allies to categorical variables. It is also employed in demography, consumer marketing research, economic and political line. This is limitations of chi-square test. The chi-square test means starters. It is extremely sensitive for the sample size. The chi-square can only determine whether two variables are related. Does not necessarily follow the one variable set as it would be require more detailed analysis to establish. మీరు ఈ యూనిట్ లో మాక్సిమం ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అడగడు అంత డిస్క్రిప్టివ్ పార్టే ఉంటది. అర్థమైందా?
Okay.
ఈ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ నేను అడిగినే సాల్వ్ చేయండి. ఒక ప్రాబ్లం ఇస్తాడు, ఆ ప్రాబ్లం లో ఆ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే ప్రాక్టికల్ క్లాస్ వచ్చినప్పుడు నన్ను అడగవచ్చు, మీరు నేను క్లారిఫికేషన్ చేస్తాను. ఫోర్త్ యూనిట్ లో ఒకసారి చదవండి, డౌట్స్ ఉంటే రాసుకోండి. అడిషన్ థీరం ఆఫ్ అప్లికేషన్, అడిషన్ థీరము ఆఫ్ ప్రాబబిలిటీ, ఇవన్నీ ఇంట్రడక్షన్. ప్రాబబిలిటీ అంటే తెలుసు, నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఫేవరబుల్ అవుట్కమ్ బై నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ టోటల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ అవుట్కమ్స్. సో సపోజ్ there are 6 pillows bed and 3 are red, 2 are yellow, and what is the probability picking? So డై వేస్తే 2 సార్లే పడుతుంది. డై వేస్తే ఎన్ని సార్లు పడుతుందండి? ఐదర్ హెడ్ ఆర్ టేల్. అవునా కదా? మిమ్మల్నేనండి. 2/6 అంటే 1/3 వస్తుంది. ఆ రకంగా ఇప్పుడు ఇదొక 3 ఈ 4 యూనిట్లు మీరు కొంచెం చదవండి, ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి. డౌట్స్ ఉంటే మీరు నన్ను అడగవచ్చు. ఎనీ డౌట్స్ ఫర్ అప్ టు థర్డ్ యూనిట్ ఐ విల్ క్లారిఫై. చూడండి, ఒక అడిషన్ రూల్ చెప్తా చూడండి. ఇక్కడ అడిషన్ రూల్ అంటే పి ఆఫ్ ఏ ప్లస్ పి ఆఫ్ బి, పి ఆఫ్ ఏ ప్లస్ పి ఆఫ్ బి అంటే పి ఆఫ్ ప్లస్ 1 పి ఆఫ్ 2. పి ఆఫ్ ఏ వాల్యూ 1/6, పి ఆఫ్ ఏ వాల్యూ 1/6 is 2/6, that is called 1/3. This is called as addition rule. Multiplication అంటే పి ఆఫ్ ఏ into పి ఆఫ్ బి, 1/6 into 1/6. How much? 1/6 into 1/6?
1/12. 36.
So probability of toss is 1/2, 0.5. So 1/2 into 1/2 is 1/4. ఇక్కడ ప్రాబిలిటీ, ఇది వేరే ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇచ్చాడు. ఇక్కడ 0.5 తీసుకున్నాడు కాబట్టి 0.5 into 0.5 0.25. అర్థమైంది అనుకుంటా. అంటే అడిషన్ రూల్ లోనేమో పి ఆఫ్ ఏ ప్లస్ పి ఆఫ్ చేస్తాం. దిస్ ఇస్ థీరం ఆఫ్ ప్రాబిలిటీ. కంటిన్యూస్ ర్యాండమ్ వేరియబుల్ అంటే మీకు చెప్పాను ఇన్ఫినిటీ అని. డిస్క్రీట్ ర్యాండమ్ వేరియబుల్ అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ లిమిటెడ్. ర్యాండమ్ వేరియబుల్ అంటే ఏదో ఒకటి పిక్ చేస్తాం మనం. ప్రాబిలిటీ థియరీ ర్యాండమ్ వేరియబుల్ కెన్ బి డిఫైన్డ్ as variable. Assume the value of all possible outcomes on experiment. There are two types of random in data set. The data can be discrete. Probability theory defines an event as a set of outcomes and experiment forms subset of the small space. Theorems of probability, you have to think applications of probability. So probability of distribution, types of probability distribution, normal distribution, properties of normal distribution. సో నార్మల్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్ ఇది ఒకసారి మీ ల్యాబ్ మాన్యువల్ ఉంటే చూడండి. ఇది ఇట్లా ఇట్లా చెప్తే రాదు మీకు, అది ప్రాక్టికల్ గా చేయించాల్సి ఉంటుంది. నార్మల్ బైనామినల్ డాటా. అర్థమైందా? సో ఈ యొక్క ఫోర్త్ యూనిట్ లో 2-3 విడిచిపెట్టి థర్డ్ యూనిట్ వరకు డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అడగండి, క్లారిఫై చేస్తాం. ఎనీ డౌట్స్ ఫర్ అప్ టు థర్డ్ యూనిట్ ఐ విల్ క్లారిఫై రైట్ నౌ. All of you ask me. If no doubts is there, how to prepare 3 units?
Yes, sir. I'm confusion, sir. You definitely will learn all the formulas, sir.
At least three units you have to prepare. Why? Because small questions is coming and long questions is coming, na. So one long question, which unit we did not know. At least 1 2 3 you can study. So suppose third and fourth they will give. So third unit you will study. 1 and 2 they will give. There is no problem. 1 and 3 there is no problem. Suppose they are giving 1 and 4. At least 1 unit you covered. I think.
In this null hypothesis, all these formulas, sir, definitely will learn, sir.
Definitely it's mandatory. Only Lavanya asking. No one is there asking. I think all of you understood. Yes, all of you, please ask me any doubts. Are you understood?
Sir, where is used cheese? Cheese space test, sir?
I'm a chi-square test.
Choice. Okay.
Chi-square test, amma.
Okay.
Uh,
Where it used, sir?
chi-square test we can use in statistical software SPSS, and also it will be used in the diodes and triodes, and also we can use them. Mainly using your statistical data, we are using that one. Distribution part in binomial Poisson distribution also we can use.
Okay.
Any more?
Yes, this is only basic, sir.
Yes, they give the basics, but they did not give the formulas. Basic formulas is not did not incorporated in your book, but they incorporate, it's mandatory. Leave it. Any more, please? All of you understood for three units? If any doubts, write it. If any doubts from the first unit, 4 units, you can write it. I will clarify your doubts in the university campus when you come to the practical classes.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Maya. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All of you understood?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.